Hello, and thank you for watching this May 4th weather update brought to you by Agrible, the makers of Morning Farm Report. My name is Eric Snodgrass, and I'm a senior atmospheric scientist and co-founder of Agrible. Before we get started today, we at Agrible would like to extend a free offer to you to download and use our Pocket Rain Gauge app. It is available to download for free on Apple devices, and it is a very useful tool for monitoring daily rainfall across your fields. In addition, field-specific rainfall data in our Morning Farm Report is free until December 31st, and it provides rainfall measurements for yesterday, the last 7 days, the last 30 days, as well as your year-to-date totals. Plus, our data analysis techniques allow you to compare your rainfall totals to other fields in the county, crop reporting district, and state. Try it all out for free today. Corn planting was in high gear this week as much of the Corn Belt was dry thanks to persistent high air pressure. In this figure, we are looking at the total observed precipitation over the last 7 days, and most locations across the Corn Belt had just one day where precipitation fell, and those amounts were quite light. As such, much progress has been made and a good percentage of the corn crop is already emerging. So, our ag weather forecasts for this week will focus on the precipitation and the threat for severe weather, as both of these will have an impact on the young crop. We will also look out over the next month to see if the forecast holds any major weather stresses for the start of the 2015 growing season. As of early Monday morning, widespread rain was falling across Illinois, Iowa, and after a week of dry weather conditions, this rain is certainly welcome. In this radar animation provided by the Weather Underground, we can see a few areas receiving moderate to heavy precipitation, and a few embedded thunderstorms, especially in northern Illinois. Here we have a better look at those early morning elevated storms, as lightning strike location and strike age are displayed. This website, called Blitzertongue, is a great website to follow this season to monitor lightning in your area. One concern we have today is the threat for severe weather across a large section of the Corn Belt stretching from Kansas through western Illinois. While there is a threat for hail and strong winds, at this point a widespread severe weather outbreak is not forecast. The threat for hail damage is largest, though, in West Texas. In this animation, we can see that the storms across the heartland are expected to wane in strength as this morning progresses, but by mid-afternoon on Monday, we expect them to fire up again across Kansas and Iowa and parts of Nebraska and Missouri. Expect these storms to eventually work their way into northern Illinois and southern Iowa late Monday night into Tuesday. Looking through the middle of the week, here's an animation of the next 3.5 days of precipitation. A large area of low pressure is forecast to move through the central and northern Great Plains this week, and with it draw a large amount of Gulf moisture northward. As you can see in this animation, much of the rain and storm activity will spread throughout the central states, leaving parts of the eastern half of the Corn Belt relatively dry, in southern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky. Here's the 5-day total precipitation forecast, and you can see the impact of this system across the Great Plains. As a large percentage of the crop is in, this rain will be welcome, and if there's any flooding threat, it will be very local in nature due to the individual thunderstorm complexes that will erupt across the Great Plains. At this stage, no widespread flooding is forecast, though. There will be repeated chances for strong to severe storms, though, across the Great Plains, but again, there are no major severe weather outbreaks forecast with this system. One interesting feature we will be keeping an eye on this week is the development of a weather system to emerge from the tropics near the Bahamas by Wednesday. This animation shows sea level pressure in black contour lines, and wind speeds are color-coded. Current forecasts show that this system will have a warm core indicating that it will be tropical in nature, but at its strongest, its winds will remain weak. As this system potentially moves a little bit to the west, it will bring rains to parts of South Carolina and Georgia later this week. Warm conditions are forecast to spread across the United States this week as southerly flow dominates the wind patterns ahead of the low-pressure system that is developing in the northern central Great Plains. The eastern half of the U.S. is certainly excited about the return of warm conditions after a brutal winter and cold start to the spring. Here's a look at the precipitation and temperature forecast for this weekend and the start of next week. Forecasts are hinting at higher than average probability of it being wetter than normal across a large section of the United States. Forecast models are showing the repeated development of weak low-pressure systems forming in the Great Plains and pressing to the east over the next 10 days. In the right, we can see that the east is forecast to remain warm, but a series of upper-level troughs and persistent cloud cover and rain will likely keep things slightly cooler than normal from western Texas through the Dakotas. To close this video update, a persistent feature in the long-term forecast has been for wetter than average May through July across a large section of the United States. While the forecast for above average rainfall may look favorable for the 2015 crop, statistically, the best corn yields have come from years with very slightly drier than average May through June precipitation, and then wet and slightly cool July through August. In these conditions, the plants put down deep roots early to find adequate water and then avoid heat stress during pollination. At this point, we are not forecasting the above-average precipitation to have a large negative impact on the U.S. crop, but it is something we need to monitor. On the flip side, the northern part of the Corn Belt has already had a dry start to the season and is forecast to remain drier than average this year across the Dakotas, parts of Minnesota, and Wisconsin. This will likely impact yields in this region. Overall, the 2015 yield forecast looks really good, as most states have had a great start to the season. As always, we at Agrible will bring you the latest and best weather forecast information through our morning farm report, so that you can efficiently plan your operations. We thank you for your attention and hope you look forward to our next weather video update. Thank you.